this video will be what I would do if I was going to be going into the spring market. Hey there, if you're new here, my name is Iker Serna, and I make videos every week on what it's like to live in the Magic Valley and buy or sell real estate here as well. In addition, I am also a licensed real estate agent, and I've helped people just like you make the transition to Southern Idaho. If you'd like to work with me or have questions, I'd love to assist. You can call, text, or email me days, nights, or weekends. I'd love to talk to you. I am going to start with a couple statistics. I'm going to read these off the screen here. So, according to Realtor.com, the median list price today, as of January 2025, it's hard to believe that it's 2025, isn't it? The median list price is $409, but the average sale price is $327,000. So it sounds like that's a little bit of a disconnect, which we'll get into here in a minute. Also, in Burley, the median list price is $394, and the median sale price is $327. So there might be a little disconnect as to what we're listing houses for and what they're actually selling for. So those statistics are there. Comment down below what you think. I think last year they were lower, and I think everybody was kind of waiting for those prices to come down, but surprise, they didn't. As for interest rates, this morning I got a text. I'm going to show you that text from one of my favorite lenders. We are sitting around 6.875 to 6.5% on interest rates. A lot of people were waiting for it to come down, and it really has not, unfortunately. So I'm thinking this year, in general, I hate making predictions, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make predictions at all, but this will probably be the most balanced market we've seen in the last 5 or 6 years, which means both buyers and sellers are going to have to come to the table with that. We're going to have to start making better deals, talking to each other. Sellers are going to have to realize their houses aren't going to sell for those crazy prices that they used to. And buyers can be a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more savvy, and, ask for more things. So I think this year is going to be the year of balance. What do you think? That kind of brings me into the topic of today, which is I wanted to give a couple tips on how to be prepared for a spring market. Kind of, I guess the title of this, some tips and tricks. I have about 3 or 4. They'll probably elaborate on each one of them. Just kind of what I would do as a real estate agent, my experience, and kind of what I've seen in the background. That way you can kind of make that decision as well. So my first tip is going to be I would deep clean. And this would be for both buyers and sellers. If you're currently renting a house, you probably want to clean out your apartment and just make sure that you get everything cleaned. You kind of know your space. And then also too, it helps you have this mind frame of what space I need if you kind of can clean and gather your space. That would be kind of, even if you're buying, I just would say clean your apartment, clean the house you're renting, just so you can kind of know all your stuff. You kind of know what your sizes are, and you can kind of know what you're going to need to buy. If you're a seller, this is important. Not only would I deep clean, I would kind of go through your house with a checklist of everything that you would want to see if you were a buyer. And really just kind of read your house down to filth. Like I would take little pieces of tape and say, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be cleaned, because that's the easiest and cheapest way to kind of see your money value go up in your home. And that's easy stuff to do. You can just clean your house and probably see an equity bump pretty drastically. And then do any repairs that you would want done as a logical person. If you notice some cabinets are loose, you notice the toilet's broken, just anything that you can do before you even put the house on the market, just do it. Just take care of it now. That way you're not looking at it, and having shock and surprise later when you're under contract and things are a little bit more tense. Just go ahead and deep clean your house and get things taken care of and repaired right away. My next tip is to get real with your finances. I mean, really take a look at what you're spending and really kind of take a look at your credit score, where your credit cards are, anything that you have on your finances. You just kind of need to start getting that cleaned up and really understanding what you can afford. Have you been saving? Do you need to save for 6 months? This is a big thing. I think people just have no idea, because it's really crappy to look at your finances, to go into a bank or to look at your bank statements and credit cards and realize, wow, this is going to be a mess. So I really would start there, really understanding what your finances are and what you can afford. And then I would probably start talking to lenders, and I would talk to 2 or 3 and I would kind of shop my rates and shop my different lenders. And a couple pieces of advice for that: you may get a better rate on some of these online lenders, but you get what you pay for as far as service. I think some of these online lenders that are based out of other states don't have the same service as someone who's local. So just keep that in mind. You kind of get what you pay for. And when it comes to the finish line and we're there at closing and we need something fast and you can't get a hold of anybody, that really sucks. So shop lenders, find somebody that you feel comfortable working with. And my last piece of advice, and this is as an agent and as someone who's kind of seen a lot of different stuff in the business, is I would find an agent you can trust and try not to work against them. As an agent myself, I look at houses, I look at statistics, I look at numbers, and I talk to people every day. I can tell you everything about this market, what's going on, how people are feeling. But when I meet with certain people, they just feel like they want to counter that because their friend next door sold their house for this, and I have to be wrong. So if you don't have that relationship with your agent and you can't connect with them, maybe it's not the right agent. Maybe you need to find somebody that you can trust, and maybe find somebody you can connect with better. So that would be my first piece of advice, is just kind of find an agent you can trust and then don't work against them. This year, unfortunately, I had to, I hate to say the word fire, but I had to stop working with 3 different people on their homes because they just weren't ready to listen to the advice that I was giving them. Their house was sitting on the market. We were getting no showings. We were getting very bad feedback, and it was just stagnant. None of these homes were selling. And so when I would bring this to them, they would be like, no, we'll sell it. We'll sell it. We know what we're doing. And I would have to say, I don't think you do. I don't think you understand that your house is not the value that you think it is. So don't fight against your agent. Work with your agent and find an agent that you feel really comfortable and really confident working with. So in the future, I am hoping to answer questions that you guys might have, but since it's my first video, I am going to just take one from Reddit. So the question that we have today comes from Reddit/first-time homebuyer. This question is from something Reddity, and the question is, why would a lender need a confirmation of ability to work remotely? My husband and I are in the process of buying a house. He is the sole provider. On the list of needed documents, this was one of them: the confirmation of the ability to work remotely. When I asked the loan agent what it meant, he said, something from your work stating that you have the ability to work remotely with no effect to your position or salary. But my husband does not work remotely. He cannot work remotely. He's a district manager for 10 stores, and he has an office at one of those stores and does not work from home. Why would you need something like that? And I think, based on the information that this person is giving and some comments I read later, I think there might be a miscommunication. His office is probably further outside, or it could be an hour away from the home they're purchasing is. So they may be under the assumption that they're working remotely. He may also drive, but if he has lots of different stores and he's traveling to those every day, more than likely there's just some confusion as to where his physical office is and if it is a remote job. So any sort of email from your employer would probably fit that bill, or anything from your HR department kind of giving a little bit more clarity as to what your job is, would probably be sufficient for this lender to be able to process that loan. That's just kind of off the top of my head. I would need more information, but that's probably the answer to that. All right, and the last thing I wanted to do today is take a look at one of these listings and kind of just go over it and talk about it. This is 100 Cayuse Creek Drive in Kimberly, Idaho. It is listed by Stan Bison, who is my broker. This listing caught my eye because, one, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square foot, under $500,000 in Kimberly, so it's priced really well. The exterior of it is right on trend with the black and white and the wood finishes. It looks like it's fully fenced, nice yard. So I think it'll probably do really well. The interior also follows that theme of being black and white with the black finishes, the black door, the white walls. The fireplace on this one is just exquisite. I love that it's real brick. It looks like they've painted it white and has the nice wood finishes. The kitchen, again, really, really cool looking kitchen. Kind of has that corner island, white finishes. brand new stove, new microwave, and it has a really cool door on the pantry. So I really like that kitchen a lot. It's a really cool listing. It looks bright, beautiful, really modern. Kind of has that farmhouse feel. The bedroom's really cool too. I like the black accent wall. Looks like they've got it decorated really nicely. So if you want to take a look at this one or you're interested in this one, just give me a call. I'd love to show it to you. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you could just do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you could send me all of your questions that you have about real estate or the Magic Valley or anything that you'd want me to go take a look at a little bit closer. I'm just kind of starting out, so I need a little bit of help with those ideas. So anything would be appreciated. And until then, I'll see you guys next week.